I just had to play that fanfare a little bit. Welcome to Quest for Glory 5, the only actual Quest for Glory game I've ever completed. I bought it years and years ago. Down the street from where I used to work, there's a discount chain shop, which is basically one of those stores that, you know, capitalize on liquidations and overstocks and damaged items from other stores, so you can get ridiculous stuff cheap. The only problem is half of it is shit, but on occasion you can get some good deals there. And I found this on the shelf in the games section, which is usually very light and has a bunch of crap on it, for like $7. Now, we did have the original Heroes quest when I was a kid. I never actually played it, but I did see my brother did a little bit, and so I did obviously know that Heroes Quest and Quest for Glory were, you know, the same thing. So I'm like, you know, I know this is Silaria game, so I'm like, alright, I'll give it a try. And it took me a little bit to get into it, and of course I had to use a walkthrough because I'm an idiot and just like to cheat like that. And I've actually played this game a few times over the years. I have done a fighter, I've done a wizard, I've done a paladin, 2 different runs. I've never played as a thief though, because, I don't know, it just doesn't really appeal to me. Now, you can only start as a fighter, wizard, or a thief. You can import a paladin, and they actually give you a paladin save file, so you can play as a paladin. I'm not going to do that. I am going to play as a wizard, because number one, that is, out of all the classes this is the one that rings most true to me personally. Number two is the easiest class to play, for reasons I will get into early on. And there's actually a third reason, which I will not get into at this time. If you have a suspicion on what that reason is, do not post it in the comments, for it is spoilers, and I want to leave this game as unspoiled as possible. So obviously I am familiar with plot twists and anything like that, so if something I say or mention is contradicted later, don't say it in the comments. I cannot stress this enough. If I see it, I will delete it. I do not want this game spoiled, because that kind of takes away half the fun of it, even though I know exactly what's going to happen. So let's name our hero. Do not ever add anything to swimming, because that's a skill you can actually learn. It actually costs 100 to start a new skill, which really kind of sucks, and points are therefore after allocated in increments of 10. The only skills I'm actually going to be needing is basically magic and intelligence, and nothing else. Nothing else is going to matter to me as a wizard. Well, health and, you know, mana and stamina kind of matter, but for the sake of this playthrough, it really doesn't matter, because they're going to go up anyway. So what I'm going to do is yeah, you can't. Oh, that fucking sucks. So I'm just going to raise my intelligence and my magic. I'll raise my strength just to raise my health, but that's about it. Like I said, nothing is going to really matter to me. I mean, of course I could add stealth or lockpicking or something like that, but that's actually going to screw up my plans for the playthrough anyway, and I'm not going to even need them or even show them off. I'm not going to do a playthrough as a hybrid character. Not going to happen. I'm just too unfamiliar with every single possible thing you can do, and not really going to work for me, so for those who are wanted to see like the fighters or the paladin or the thief path, maybe someday I might do it eventually, but don't count on it. So this one is going to be for the wizard only. And we're going to start out in Erasmus's place.
So, dear boy, the reason Fenris and I brought you here is this. You are a hero. And so, in the grand tradition of all heroes, you need to go where you are most needed. That happens to be Silaria at this moment. The former king was assassinated a short while back. We have no idea why this was done or even who did it. Thus, you were summoned. Silaria needs a new king, and thus the right of rulership is about to begin. This right will determine the next ruler for the kingdom. We would like you to enter the right of rulership. It is the most likely way to find the villain behind the nefarious deeds going on in Silaria. If you choose to accept this mission, you will need to go to the Hall of Kings to speak with Logos, the centaur who is in charge of Silmaria right now. You will enjoy Silmaria. I am certain you will meet some old friends and make new ones. This is an interesting city, and these are interesting times. I've arranged for you to stay at the most amusing inn in Silmaria. Would you like to go there now, or are you ready to head into danger?
Now, obviously, this game has voices in it which cannot be turned off, so when people speak, I'm just going to let them go through it and just, comment after. This is obviously, if you're familiar with the Quest for Glory series, which are not necessarily, required to play this game, but you're going to understand a heck of a lot more if you are, at least, if you haven't played them, at least familiar with, some of the recurring characters and everything. So this takes place literally right like 5 minutes after the end of Quest for Glory 4. So your games are notorious for doing this. There have two choices. You can go into danger, and you'll end up near one of the dragon pillars mentioned in the intro, right near the town of Silaria, or you can go directly to Silaria. I'm just gonna go straight into Silaria. And you'll end up at this magic teleporter, which you can use to go back to Erasmus's place. And I'm sorry for the mouse cursor here. It's supposed to be a hand. I don't know if you can see it briefly when I change it here. Basically, you just have the hand, the action, and looking. And even though my thing is like stuck on a cursor here, obviously it does, still function as normal. So I apologize for that. It happens randomly when I turn on the game. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. So here's my basic stat thingy, yada yada yada, you've already seen that. And my score, I get something for not even doing anything, nice. And you have like a list of important deeds that basically are the list of the point system here. We can check out our inventory. We come equipped with drachmas, which is our currency. There's no need for currency exchange in this land. I don't know how the hell we got 2,200 drachmas just in our pocket automatically coming here. I don't know, Erasmus must have put them there. We get a dagger, which is standard for both a wizard and a thief. We're not going to equip that because we're not going to need it. We get a tinderbox, keep that because that will be important for one whole thing later, and we get some fruit. And unlike in the previous Quest for Glory games, you will not automatically eat when you're hungry if you have food rations in your inventory. You have to eat them yourself. The game will tell you if you're getting hungry, so it's not really something you have to worry about too much. There is a way to get around pretty much not ever having to eat in this game, pretty much ever, if you play your cards exactly right. So you don't really need that many food rations, and obviously at the end you can get food for free. We're equipped with the dagger, which we're not going to use. We can get other stuff later. And these are our spells we come with. We have the standard open spell, which opens things. The fetch spell, which grabs things and brings them to us. Trigger spell, which is handy for setting off traps. Force bolt spell, which is handy for if you need to push things from afar. Flame dart, which is a spell that obviously shoots fireballs out of your frickin' hands and burns people and other things. The frostbite spell, easily the cheapest spell in any game ever. It's an area of effect spell that literally just blows snowstorm out of your forehead, which is awesome. The lightning ball spell, which is similar to flame dart, only it's a ball of lightning. The dazzle spell, which kind of just momentarily dazes your enemies. The calm spell, which pretty much makes things temporarily non-violent. The hide spell, which makes you, while you're standing still, undetectable. It will turn off when you move, though. The detect magic, which you can use to detect magical objects and other such nearby. Levitate, which makes you float. Reversal, which is basically kind of a shield that can prevent certain projectile spells like flame dart and lightning ball. They'll bounce right off you temporarily. Protection spell, which is similar to reversal, but it protects you against damage. And resistance is kind of based on the same thing. The aura spell, I've never actually used that before, so I'm not exactly sure what it actually does. the Juggling Light spell, which is basically for show mostly, and the Zap spell, which can zap your weapon and make it more powerful. Okay, you can get more spells later on in the game, and obviously I will be showing said things. So enough of that. There are keyboard shortcuts in this game, and I actually have the card that came with the game for keyboard shortcuts. You can run by either double-clicking on your destination, or you can be like me and hold down the shift key. Now this is the arena over here, which I'm not going to be exploring because I'm not a fighter. This is someone who is the extravagant house, which we will also not be exploring. The target there. This is the Hall of Kings, which Erasmus told us to go visit, so let's talk to the guard and go visit.
You may enter the Hall of Kings now.
You cannot just enter here at will, by the way. There's only certain parts of the game that you can go in here, so it's not like you can just walk in here anytime you damn please. Perspective shift!
Greetings, Prince of Shapir. I am Logos, Counselor to Rulers and Speaker of Silaria. Welcome to the Kingdom of Silaria. I have heard much of you from your friends Erasmus and Rakesh.
Greetings, my friend. It is good to know that you are here. This land needs a hero of your abilities.
I trust you understand why you were summoned here. The rights of rulership need one more entrant before it can begin. All other competitors are worthy individuals. However, I suspect that these rights will be more dangerous than they are intended.
We believe that the one or ones who assassinated the King of Silaria will attempt to make certain the contestant they support will win.
You must understand that your life will be in grave danger from the moment you enter the right of rulership. We will be doing everything we can to stop the assassin, but you need to be wary. Hero of the lands of Shapir, Tana, and Moldavia, will you enter the rights of rulership?
Where is the mention of Spellbook in there? It's possible, you know, since Rakesh wasn't in Spellbook, he doesn't know any really details about it. So I suppose we can give him the benefit of the doubt. And of course, Rakesh is a returning character here, in addition to Erasmus and Fenris. So we're already meeting new, some old friends. Right, so I'm just gonna go through all the dialogue in order.